All right. I never know when to start. I don't know when to start when we do these things. I think we're
I know.
live. Hopefully we're live.
Let's see.
Welcome into the ATB show at the buzzer. It's Adam and Rubber Shoes, and we are live on the YouTubes and excited to have you along for the ride. It somehow always works out where when I'm off, Timmy's off. I mean, when I'm on, Timmy's off. And then when Timmy's on, for some reason, I'm off. So I don't know why it works. Goes. I think Timmy is traveling, and Scotty is resting, I believe. And
I think he's working. I think he
oh,
had
is
a
he
crazy
working?
week of work that he had to
Oh, okay.
deal with this week.
And Corey is MIA. We're not really sure where Corey is, so we're holding out hope that he's not on an island somewhere waiting to be rescued. But we are here, and we are forging ahead with a week of no Boston sports, which kind of sucks. Not no Boston sports, but not a lot of Boston sports, and certainly not a lot of Boston sports that are doing well. So we're got a couple of fun things we're gonna do tonight. Tonight we'll talk a little bit Celtics, a little bit Patriots, a little bit Bruins probably, and then maybe you have some thoughts on Soto going to the Mets. I'm sure you have some thoughts on that. At least he didn't go to the Yankees, right?
Yep.
Rubber Shoes, let's hear about AAA Work Trucks, our valiant sponsor for I don't know how many episodes at this point. A lot. They've been with us
Yeah.
forever. So go ahead.
Uh, yes, brought to you by AAA Work Trucks, your one-stop shop for all your work truck needs. If it goes in or on a vehicle, it's a good bet. AAA could take care of you. Give them a call at 866-783-6222 and check them out online at aaaworktrucks.com. And listen to my radio ad on Rock 101 up in New Hampshire
Oh,
next week.
full circle moment.
Yeah.
All right. Um, what did Joe and Leslie do when there's like 4 nights in a row and there's no Celtics? Like, because they typically go to all the games, right? Or a lot of
So
the games.
I think they ended up selling last Monday's game because there was like too many to go to in 1 week.
Oh yeah, there's a lot. Yeah,
So but I think they're Joey probably doesn't like the long layoff, but I think Leslie is like, okay, it's not
it's not bad.
let's take a breath.
Yeah, I watch. Like obviously I'm just watching it on TV, but it's and I love the Celtics and I love when they're on TV, but I lose track of all of everything else that's going on when they have 5 games in 7 nights because I'm
Oh,
like
yeah.
only watching them. So I'm happy for the respite a little bit too. Well, do they only have 2 tickets? How many tickets do they have? Just two? Two.
Two,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. All right. We're very excited that the Celtics are doing well. The Patriots were on a bye week last week. Do you have any Patriots stuff you want to cover before we? Because I know we're just going to be sort of surface level with the Patriots because they weren't playing last week.
Yeah.
Anything you want to cover though?
Just keep losing, baby.
Just
I
keep
want that. I
losing.
want the highest draft pick possible.
Okay. All right. At this point, I'm
And it's
definitely
a
on board
like
with that.
the last game, it was a good game. It came
Yeah.
down to the end and they lost. That's what I'm looking forward. I'm looking to see Drake May grow, have him look like he's definitely going to be our answer going forward, but just not be enough to win and keep dropping in the standings so we can hopefully get the first overall pick.
Yeah. I saw a story today about Kraft and how he's told Mayo that he's back definitely in 2025. I think personally that makes a lot of sense to me because basically he's done his job this year, right? I mean, which sounds stupid, like you're not looking for your coach to lose, but he's. I think the team has improved over the course of the season. They're not making a playoff run or anything, but I definitely think that they have improved. And that's kind of what he was looking for, right? Out of the gate, don't you think?
Yeah, I disagree a little bit
Okay.
about I think their defense has been stagnant. It
Mm,
hasn't improved, and that's the side he came from.
yeah.
Like I believe the offense did. Like Drake May's gotten better, but that's and pretty much from the beginning, he's like, yeah, Alex Van Pelt takes care of the offense, so he
Right.
doesn't have his hands in there. Like he like final decisions of who like okay, are we playing Jacoby Brissett or are we playing Drake May? That's Mayo,
Mayo.
but
Yeah.
all the ins and outs and him being coached up, that's all Alex Van Pelt, and I hope he gets to return next year because I think he's moving in the right direction. And if they get the right pieces next year, that I'd like to see him with Drake May with some real weapons next year and see how it goes from there.
We're in kind of an odd situation with the Patriots because in the NFL, it's very much like the coach is the scapegoat, right? Almost always. And if a team sucks, then basically you're guaranteed the coach is going to get fired at the end of the season. And this particular situation is a little bit different because Kraft is so high on Mayo and it's his guy. He groomed him to be the next Belichick and all that stuff. So I think this guy, Mayo gets, plus he was a player for the Patriots and stuff like that. So I think he gets a longer rope. I don't know that it goes much past the second year if they can't do something next year.
So the problem that he had is pretty much most of him plus his staff are all pretty much brand new at the positions they're in.
Right. Yeah.
And so they're all kind of learning at the same time, which kind of it makes it hard on Mayo because he doesn't really have anyone to lean on that's been there before. So they're all learning together, and I I think they deserve to all come back and
Yeah.
learn together with better pieces. Because even the defense compared to last year, they don't have, they lost Judon, they lost Uche, they had
Right.
injuries, they, lost McCourty. So it's, they like people going into this is like, oh, they were the number 5 defense last year. It's like, yeah, but it's not the same defense this year.
Yeah.
They lost people 100%. They lost people.
And I think too, it's a really good point because I don't think that happens very often in pro sports, where you go where first of all, a fan base very rarely accepts that like, oh, all these guys were new, we're going to give them a chance to grow into their role. And I'm sure there's Pats fans who disagree with that, but I would agree with that. Like, you've got a whole group of people that you think can do a really good job. You can't just pull the rug out from under them after 1 year, especially when they don't have, as Parcells would say, the groceries. They don't have the
Yeah.
groceries that they bought. So I think at some point, eventually, the expectations will start to rise again. This year was not that year. And they have a couple games left, and they'll play next week. But we'll get into that next week before. Well,
I
actually, I
mean,
guess we won't have a show before the next game, but we'll talk about it next week after the game.
yeah. So other than Scotty, love you. I mean it. I think most people looked at this team this year that they were going to be worse than last year,
Yeah.
and it looks like it's turning. One, they have a tougher schedule this year. Although in the middle there, it didn't look like it was as tough as what people thought going into.
Right.
Like the
Right.
Jets aren't what they should have been this year.
Yeah.
And so
Oh,
speaking
the
of
Jets have been
coaches
horrible.
getting fired at the end of the season, it's like how is so I've heard rumors that Mike McCarthy of Dallas may be getting extended.
It's insane. That's
It's like,
insane.
but I guess they used the excuse that, he lost Dak Prescott. Yeah, but where were they before Dak
Right.
Prescott got hurt? They were
Like,
horrible.
does he have pictures on Jerry Jones or
I
something?
don't
Like,
know.
what's
I
going
know.
on
That's
there? It's ridiculous.
yeah.
Um, okay, speaking of coaches, and this will be the last thing, and then we'll jump over to the Celtics because Belichick is rumored to be interviewing at UNC, and I'm sure you have some opinions on that. So let's hear it. Let's
It's kind of
hear
a
it.
head scratcher for everyone on the radio. They're like, this one, it was out of the blue. No one even heard. Like, usually you get scoops from some of the journalists out there that they knew this was coming. It was total, everyone found out after the fact.
Yeah.
Um, it, so a lot of the stuff they've been saying on the radio of why they think he took the interview, maybe he's not getting the love from the NFL that he thought he was going to get. He definitely didn't get it last year. He thought maybe this year after, teams find out that their coaches suck and they get fired and this and that he'll get a chance. But I think he's had his feelers out there and there's not a lot of love, I don't think, out there in the NFL world. So, this would give him, if he goes to UNC, it's always been like it, better than average school football wise, but they've never really put it. Probably the one of their best seasons was a couple years ago with Drake May.
Right.
Like not last year with Drake May, but 2 seasons ago with Drake May. And if he goes in and rebuilds the program and gets it to like Alabama status, oh my God, he'd be a god down there forever.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
So
There's a lot of upside for him to go there. To be honest with you,
yeah,
everybody says, "Well, there's a lot of downside going from the NFL to the college ranks." To me, it's a little bit strange because of his age. Honestly, like
yeah.
if you go in to try and develop a college program, I mean that's not a short term objective, right? I mean,
Well, so now with the NIL, I think you
true.
can turn it around pretty quick.
That's true, and maybe that's what UNC thinks. We'll pay him a ton of money, and then people will flock here, and the advertisers will pay a lot of money too because for other kids to come here, and maybe we start to build a program a little bit faster. That's a good point. I didn't think about that.
So I
Uh,
was
I
looking
did,
at so he's I thought he was going to be much younger than the guy who they just fired, Mac Brown.
yeah,
Mac Brown is 73 and Belichick's 72. So it's
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like
yeah.
super. I mean, he
Like I
seems
knew
to be.
Belichick was in his 70s. I thought Mac Brown was older than that.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
But
I mean, mid 70s or early 70s even is like you're pushing it a little bit. To be honest, I'm not trying to be
yeah.
ageist or anything, but
Yeah.
like really, I mean, at that point, aren't you
But I
supposed
think
to come
so
down?
I don't know if it's a rumor or if it was an actual, but they think that he's looking to go there, bring Steve Belichick there, and have a guarantee that Steve Belichick takes over for him. So he
Oh,
helps
interesting.
builds the program and then turns it over to Steve. And
Okay.
and like with the NIL now, they can definitely and UNC they have basketball money. Like there's definitely a lot of boosters that love the basketball program, but those same people would love to see football jump
Oh,
up
sure.
there also. So they definitely have money in the school that they could go out and turn us around. I mean, Ohio State spent I think like $20 million last year in
Wow,
NIL.
that's insane.
And it's
Well,
not all the school money because
no, no, no,
there's
no.
donors that come in, boosters and stuff that pony that money up.
Right. Well, and also you can just have an advertiser, right? I mean, you can have an
Yeah,
NIL deal
there's
that's like a car dealership
yep,
that's like,
yep.
yeah,
So
here's
there's other
five hundred
incentives that they
thousand
could
dollars
do.
to come to the college. Yeah. Well, it'll be interesting to see what happens. Did you happen to see the Foxborough Bros making fun of
Fox
Belichick?
Bros.
Fox Bros.
So the little bit I saw it because I usually during pregame I watch NFL Network
Oh
usually,
yeah, yeah.
and I just so happened during a commercial I flipped over there and I saw Edelman, Brady, and Gronk on there, and they were answering the questions, holding up the sticks
Oh, the
with
sticks.
the
Yeah, yeah.
pictures of who they thought it was, and I literally heard one question. That was it. So
You gotta go track it down on the YouTubes.
okay,
It's funny. They're just making fun of him and pretending to be him recruiting college kids. It's pretty
yeah,
funny.
they're like, we can't picture him sitting on a couch with with
Right, right. With somebody's
yeah.
parent.
I did hear that. Yeah. Yeah,
um,
that and then of course the jokes were it's like, oh, maybe he's trying to get his girlfriend into a postgraduate at UNC.
yeah, that's probably true. I saw him the other day, a picture of him on some red carpet, and he was with his girlfriend. Listen, I'm not trying to date whoever you want to date, but
Yeah.
that's like a really
I don't
weird.
think I've seen them together. Like I haven't seen a picture of them. I've seen pictures of her and I've seen pictures of him next to her like as like two separate pictures, but I've never seen anything
Oh,
with
really?
them
That
actually together. So,
This one he was in a full tux
oh my
and she
God.
was all dressed up. I don't know what it was
Yeah.
for, some award show or something, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But he looked extremely old and extremely awkward. But listen, whatever floats your boat, Belichick. You got your 6 rings. Actually, what does he have now? He has 8, right? Doesn't he? Did he have 2 with the Giants?
I believe that is
Yeah,
correct.
so he has 8 rings. So good for him. Living the life in Nantucket. All right. Let's move on to the Celtics. Speaking of vacationing, the Celtics are on a break. 4 game. They had 5 games in 7 nights. They went. Would they go 3-2? They lose the first. They lost a game at the beginning too, didn't they? Yeah, to Cleveland. And so they closed it out with a loss against the Grizzlies, who, by the way, look ridiculous.
Yeah,
Um,
John Morant looked really good.
oh my God.
And that
Uh,
they 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 threw up 60 3-pointers in that game. And I think
That must have drove you
they
nuts.
hit 18. I
Yeah.
just, I don't mind it because I know when they're on,
Oh yeah.
when they're hitting their threes, they can't be beat.
Right.
But when you're that bad, and that's, they what, they lose by 5 maybe.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, they only lost by a few. Yeah. Well,
If they
so
go
the
to the hole a few more times, then they're right in it, or they win it.
right. So the Grizzlies' strategy seemed to be let Drew Holiday be by himself, and the
Yeah,
Celtics will pass him the ball.
it
And
didn't help.
good old Drew jumped up there and took as many threes as he could. I think he was like at one point he was like 2 or 3 for 18 or something ridiculous.
Yeah.
But it's
I mean,
like
you think
weird.
if he hits 2 more of those,
That's
they
right.
win.
They win the game. And he's normally a 40% three-point shooter. It's
Yeah.
not like the guy is some scrub. It's just funny because I feel like didn't that team do that last year? Did they do it to Jalen Brown last year? I can't remember, but I think it was one
I know
some
they've
team.
they've done that to Marcus Smart in the
Oh,
past.
definitely to Smart, yeah. Which I want
Oh
to
yeah,
talk
that's
about too. But
I want to say it was Golden State.
that's right. That's what it was. And Draymond Green was just in the middle of the
Yep.
paint
Yep.
and like basically daring Jalen Brown to
Yep.
shoot.
Yep.
Yeah, listen, teams are going to try all sorts of things because if the Celtics are in a rhythm, they're very difficult to beat,
Yep.
right? And if they're moving the ball from left to right and they find the open shooter as opposed to just having an open shooter that they can pass the ball to, it's usually a rhythm three and it's a much better chance that it's going to go in. Any concern for you about Derek White, who seems to be in a little bit of a slump here?
No, they're gonna be fine.
Yeah, I agree.
It was a that was a brutal schedule last week.
It
So
was. It was. And they looked against. I mean, I think the Grizzlies are fast. I think they are young. They are, you know, um, they look young. But at the same time, I felt like the Celtics were just stuck in mud because they were just tired and they were like, this
they
is a
seem
long
to
schedule.
struggle against those high effort teams.
Yeah,
Like Detroit Pistons gives them a game most of
that's
the
true.
time.
That's true.
Cleveland,
Cleveland always gives them a game.
Indiana,
Yep.
Orlando, which is going to be interesting with Orlando because Orlando, I think, is like in third place right now.
Yeah.
Although Franz Wagner just got
Wagner.
just got hurt, so I think that I don't know how long he's out for, but so maybe we catch them at the right time where they don't
It's
have him.
it's amazing that Orlando is doing what they've been doing because Paolo's been out.
Yeah, and
Um,
Banchero's been out. Yeah,
yeah, it's crazy. And the East is just what the hell do you make of it? Honestly, it's just first of all, there's so many bad teams, and then you've got the Sixers who were picked to be the contender against the Celtics, and they've won like 4 games. Like
and
it's insane.
so the Bucks game Friday night
Yeah.
is so I placed a wager, and when I say a wager, it's like I think I bet $1. Okay, $1, and I had I did a 3-leg parlay. I needed Jalen Brown to get 25 or more,
Okay.
Tatum to get 25 or more. Actually, it was a 4-leg. I picked the Celtics to win, and I needed Giannis to get 30 or more.
Okay.
So I got
You hit all of those, right?
Tatum got his in the first half.
Right.
Brown got it in the third. It looked like the Celtics were gonna win. Giannis had 29 points with like a minute and a half left in the game. They fouled him. He misses the
He
first shot. I'm
misses.
like, are you kidding me? I was like, is he gonna? Yeah, I'm gonna end with 29, and then he hit the
Yeah.
second one, and he
Uh,
ended with exactly 30 points. I was like,
oh
oh my
my
god,
god.
yeah. I was
Well,
like
yeah,
sweating it there.
that's
Sweat.
why
I felt like I was gonna lose my dollar.
that's why I don't bet, man. I can't even at $1. I'm like, nah, I'm good. I want to watch and
See,
not.
it's so like I said, I bet $1. Like there was a game yesterday of one of the football games because the Patriots weren't on. Like I always watch Red Zone, but
Yeah.
usually I'll have the Patriots on and kind of focus on watching the Patriots. So yesterday I didn't have that, and I did um $1 again. So I don't like having uneven. So if I won and I think yesterday I had like $9.43 in
Mhm.
my account. So I bet $1.43 just to make it even. Like if I
Okay.
lose, it goes even.
Yeah, yeah.
So I did. It was actually it didn't even come close. I had like a three-leg parlay on the Philly game, and it didn't even come close. They lost the game. They all right, did they? Yeah, they lost. I'm pretty sure they lost. So I picked Philly to win. It was like uh Barkley had to score a touchdown, which he did. He got the touchdown, and AJ Brown had to get at least 80 yards, and I think he
And he
ended up with
didn't.
like 70.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
So you were rooting for him to go for a couple
Yeah.
more.
Plus I have AJ Brown on on two of my fantasy teams. So I was like, oh, it's a win-win if he goes over, and yeah.
You're like the king of self control. I have to say, like you'll have one drink, you'll
Yeah.
bet $1. You know,
Yeah.
you always go to the gym, which is great. That is not something that I can say for sure about myself. Um, I'm just impressed. You're always seem to be very self controlled about and self motivated, which is
So
unusual.
and I just so now I stopped drinking as of December 1st,
Oh, you did?
and I was dieting. I was doing so I've done the keto diet
Oh yeah,
before.
yeah.
So I was gonna do that starting in December, and I ran into a friend of mine that I hadn't seen since July.
Okay,
And I was like, "Did you lose weight?" He's like, "Yeah." And he had like this big smile on his face. I'm like,
yeah,
what do you do? He's like, oh, I started the carnivore diet back in July. And he's like, he started like right after I saw him.
yeah.
He's lost 38 pounds.
Wow,
Feels phenomenal. He looks phenomenal. I was like, holy crap. So it's a high protein,
right.
no carb diet. So I was already kind of started doing that. So I switched. And so now I'm on that diet right now. And I tell
Nice.
you what, I've been doing it since Friday, and I feel phenomenal.
Take you're listen, whatever this is what I always say to people, whatever works for you.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
couldn't do that. I could not do no carbs because it's just not in my I mean, I'm not on a diet at the moment. I should be, but I'm not. But if I were to, I couldn't do that. But whatever works for you. I mean, people I always hate when people judge other people for like, "Oh, you're on this diet. That's not good
yeah.
for you." It's like, "Shut
And
up."
so the biggest I had heard about this diet before, and I was
Yeah,
always
yeah.
leery about it because it's a lot of red meat you eat, and they tell you, red meat causes cancer, it does this,
Right,
it
right,
does that.
right.
So I started doing it. I've been listening to a ton of podcasts on it,
Oh, wow.
and I feel good about it. So, and the first question I asked him was, "Have you had your blood work done yet?" And he's like, "I've had it done twice." And my doctor said the last one, my my levels are, and he's close to he's like 50.
Okay.
He's like my doctor says he hasn't seen these levels since I was like 27.
Wow.
So, and that's 6 months, not
That's crazy.
just about 6 months. So I was like, all right, I'm sold.
Can we get some cross promotion on the carnivore diet podcasts for you, Rubber Shoes?
Well,
Can you get a
maybe we'll
guest
get
spot?
we'll
That'd be
see
pretty
once I get
good.
it.
Promote
Yeah.
ATB on their show. That'd be good.
So Joe Rogan has had a couple of these guys on there.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
So Rogan dabbles in it, like he's not strict 100%
yeah.
carnivore, but he most of his diet is geared that way.
Okay, we're getting
So
we're aiming to get Rubber Shoes on the Joe Rogan
yes,
podcast.
yes, yep.
There's got to be somebody that's local.
That's my
Rubber Shoes is
goal
what I'm
next
talking
year.
about.
That's my goal
All right,
next
that's
year.
a good goal.
Joe Rogan podcast.
All right. I think you have to be on it for more than a week, but if you make it to maybe a few months, maybe we can start reaching out to their booking agent
Yeah, yeah,
or something. Regardless, I'm good. Congratulations on getting onto a diet. That's good. It's important to stay healthy, especially as we get older. And I know I'm a little bit younger
yeah.
than you, but I'm still creeping up there. I've started to hold my phone like here instead of
Oh yeah, that
instead of
and
right next to my face.
when that starts to go,
It's the
it's
worst.
bad. Yeah, like I have contacts on right now,
Oh yeah,
and
yeah.
it's in contacts with the reading.
Hmm.
It's it's hit or miss because the contacts, you still have to be able to see distance, so it can't be
Right.
100% like putting reading glasses on. So it's like you give up a little of you. So I can read my phone for the most part, but if it gets like reading nutritional facts on the boxes,
Oh,
I
forget
can,
it.
actually it's not as hard. This I just got new prescription contacts, so it's actually better that my closer reading is a little better, and it's actually my distance has been better also. So I'm like real happy right now.
Oh, that's good. Well, this concludes the old men talking about their ailments segment of the podcast.
Yeah.
But we should talk about one more thing on the Celtics, and I want to get your take on this, and then we'll move on. We have a couple of we're going to do a couple of Mount Rushmores. Rubber Shoes has one for me. I have one for him, so we'll see. All right, I want to hear about your thoughts though, because there's now I don't know if I'm in a Celtics bubble when I hear about this. So I haven't really listened to or watched any national talk shows about this about the NBA. Um, but to me, Peyton Pritchard is a front runner for six man of the year, and I know I hear Scal talking about it all the time, and Drew Carter's talking about it, and I just heard Cedric Maxwell talk about it. Um, are you? Do you feel that way too?
All green teamers.
Well, exactly. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. I'm in this like bubble.
Um,
I don't know if it's actually true. And I hate to get my hopes up about this stuff because, I look at Tatum and I'm like, this guy's an MVP, but I don't watch
yeah.
Jokic on a regular
Yeah.
basis. So,
I mean, well,
anyways,
yeah, that so on Tatum real quick. He
yeah,
um Tyler has been consistently following Jokic to see
he's not.
Tatum's not close right now.
I know. I know.
He is like off the charts right. Jokic is off the so as long as he stays healthy and it keeps playing like this, it'll be hard to take it from him. But as far as
The
Pritchard,
hold on. Let me just say this about Jokic real quick, and then we'll get back to Pritchard. Jokic, the reason Jokic has those numbers, which is frustrating, is because his team sucks. Right, the team around him really sucks,
no,
and it's
but he's like getting triple doubles.
no, I
So
know, but
he's getting double digits assists from
right,
someone.
yeah.
Someone's making the
Somebody's
baskets, you
making
know.
shot. Yeah. No, it's true. All right, go ahead, Pritchard. Let's talk about Pritchard.
So yeah, he is definitely 100% in the running. I haven't checked his stats. Talking about one of the guys he's going to be fighting for it with is Buddy Hield with Golden
Yep.
State. He was Buddy Hield when we played against them. He was off the charts. Like
Oh, he
that.
was unbelievable.
So I don't know where he sits right now, but I think that's one of the guys that he's going to be fighting for with that. And um, Chris Middleton just came back. If they keep him coming off the bench, he looked pretty good Friday night. So I'll keep an eye on him. But Pritchard is definitely he's averaging what 19 points a game
Yeah,
coming
he's
off the bench.
unbelievable.
Is he's 100% in the running. It's not just the green team is saying it because I was at first I was like, oh, he's definitely up for it. And I looked into other players coming off the bench, and he's right up there. He's in the top five in the league right now on
So
most yes.
Pritchard's odds for six man of the year, he's minus 350 on FanDuel, minus 260 on FanDuel. Sorry. The next closest is Amen Thompson, who's plus 1,000 on FanDuel. Then DeAndre Hunter and Buddy Heald and Jared McCain. So those are the sort of
Oh,
the
so
top five
he's
guys.
the favorite right
He's
now.
the favorite right now. Yeah. So I mean,
But so you have to be a little leery of odds
yeah. No, I know.
because if there's heavy betting on one guy already, then
Right.
the odds his odds go down because they want people to bet on the other guys.
Right. Right. Well, and it's
I
so
mean,
weird.
his odds go up, so the payout doesn't get as good. So they
Right.
make you like, oh, maybe this guy, so I can make more
Maybe I'll
money.
try this
But
guy. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
I don't know. I need to watch more NBA games, like not just the Celtics games, because I'm so green team biased. Like it's not even funny. I watch Pritchard play, and I'm like, who wouldn't want this guy as their starting point guard? I mean,
oh yeah,
and he's unbelievable.
and
Like
he's improved every year that we've
100%.
had him,
Yeah.
and like I mean, actually, a lot of guys this year improved. Even Tatum, Brown, Holiday.
Yep.
White, they all got better from last year, and
They really did.
like unbelievable. You think,
And Nimi Keita has also
oh
gotten
yeah, yeah,
tremendously better.
and getting
Um,
playing time,
yeah,
and
that helps.
I I'm waiting for Jordan Walsh to
Yeah,
flash because in the G League he's been playing unbelievable,
right.
and if for some reason it's not translating right now. Like he doesn't hit his shot at all when he's left wide open threes. So
For the
I don't know if he was.
Boston team.
I don't think he was a big 3-point shooter in college. So maybe they're working on him with that to because
Yeah.
it's like if you're on this current Celtics team,
Yeah,
you
you
have
better
to
be
be
able
able
to
to
knock
shoot
down
the
a
three.
three. That's
It's
right.
basically Cater and Cornette are the only guys not shooting threes. Everyone else is. So if
Although,
you're,
you ever see any YouTube footage of Cornette when he used to be like he used to be able to shoot like I'm sure he still can. They just don't put him in that
yeah,
position. But he used to be able to shoot just like Porzingis does.
really,
Yeah, it's unbelievable. You gotta go check it out on YouTube. Um, yeah, Jordan Walsh took he asked to go up to the main Celtics today. Because they're off and he just wanted to get more run with the team with any team just to keep playing. So
that's
I
good.
like that. That's a
Yep,
good sign.
yep.
And then yeah, I wish I could talk to Scotty about this. Or maybe I'll text after the show, but I was so curious with the addition of Drew Peterson into the lineup. And he knocked down some shots, and he had a couple of good games where he just was
Yeah.
a
Well,
solid role
that's
player.
probably why,
Yeah,
and because he's hitting. That's what they want. If you're going to be playing the
right.
1 through 4, you got to shoot the three.
Yeah. I
And
mean, I liked him. He's one of those guys that he comes onto the floor and you're like, "Oh God, what's going to happen here?" And then
yeah,
all of a sudden he surprises you, and you're
yep.
like, "Oh, okay, he's hanging with everybody." So I don't know. It'd be interesting to see what they do with him moving forward, or if that was just sort of a test balloon to throw out there and see how he did.
It'd be
Um,
nice if um, to have another guy like him and Hauser
right,
off the bench to if one guy's off, the other
right,
guy comes in. Hopefully he's on because that hurt us a few games last year. That Hauser came in and was cold as ice, and
yeah,
it hurts us because although I tell you I really wasn't a huge fan of Missoula after the first season because I thought he was very stubborn and like set in his ways, but
yeah.
he's definitely read the room and figured stuff out and trying different things. And I really like what he's doing this year. He's how you can tell he's for the first I don't know 10 games if I feel like Jason Tatum played the whole first quarter, and then lately the last week it looks like he takes Tatum out with a couple minutes left and he leaves Brown in for the full
Right.
first quarter, and he's playing with different lineups more to see what's working with each other. And I if they I've been saying it since we started. If they stay healthy, I don't see anyone beating them this year.
So I have always, and you know this, I've always loved Joe Mazzulla from like literally the minute the guy took over. I thought he was just his demeanor was exactly what I would want in a coach, and so I consume probably as much Joe Mazzulla material as I possibly can because, well, for one, I coach my girls, seventh grade basketball team, which obviously I'm not coaching like Joe Mazzulla coaches the Celtics, but just you pick up
The
little
Milford
tidbits.
Knights.
Yeah, Milford Knights. Yes, yes, thank you. And we had a great weekend, 3-1 this weekend, so we had a really good
Nice.
weekend. Thank you. But I try and pick up little tidbits, little bit, a little bit of small things. I'm not going to go to them. You either get fouled or you die. Like I'm not obviously saying that to seventh grade girls,
Yeah.
but I just I love him and I consume a lot of content around him. And he was on a podcast. I don't remember which one, but he was talking about how he wants the organization as the Celtics organization, not just the team, but the organization to really function as a team and really be there to support the players because when the players are happy and when the players are supported they obviously do better and play better. And he mentioned that they brought in to the Celtics facility, to their practice facility, a team from Disney of all places, the Disney theme park people,
Yeah.
and they walked around and they just sort of gave pointers and tips about like different ways that they would approach certain things. Like he was talking about even the cafeteria, like how they would have the cafeteria line changed if it was Disney World, or whatever. It was just interesting. Like to me, that's just like that stuff is so mind blowing. Like who would ever think that that has anything to do with basketball? But it's obviously working. They're doing
Yep.
extremely well, and I think we have good things ahead for our Celtics. Hopefully. Um, all right, rubber shoes. We've rambled on long enough about no sports happening at all around us. Oh, did you want to mention the Bruins? Where are we on the Bruins? You want to mention the Bruins?
So I mean, they're 5-2 or 6-2 under the
Okay.
new coach. Um, they start their Canadian West Coast swing tonight. Tonight they are in Winnipeg, which isn't on the West Coast. That's like I think middle of the country, but they're doing their so
You
they
won't be up for
play.
that.
It's actually 8 o'clock because they
Oh,
are
that's not bad.
they're Central Time, so they're
Okay.
like yeah they're middle of the country. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, they'll be playing Calgary and Edmonton and Vancouver. Those will probably be 10 o'clock games. I won't be watching those. But
Uh,
it looks like they got their scoring starting to come back. Pasternak still looks so lost out there. I don't know what is going on. If it he's lost all confidence, and I don't know how you get it kickstart. Like hopefully it's like maybe even a fluke goal that goes in gets him jump started. But
yeah.
he's out there and you can tell he's overthinking stuff instead of just playing. When an elite athlete is out there just doing what he knows he can do, it just comes so naturally and easy to them. But
Right.
right now he's out there, he is overthinking everything. And hopefully he can maybe he finds it on this West Coast trip.
Now I know you didn't play professionally, but you played, through high school, right? You played sport, not
Yeah, I
hockey. Did you
played
play hockey in high school?
I did not. I've
Oh,
never
you played
played.
football.
Yeah, I played football, basketball, and baseball.
Okay. This happens, right? I mean, you get into your own head. I mean,
Yep.
and to any athlete. And what have you, did you ever find anything like I'm sure it happened to you from time to time? Did you ever find anything that would sort of like jolt you out of it and get you moving again or
Um, so I have to credit my dad on this. My dad was a great coach on the
yeah.
side. And he worked with us for hours and hours, like me, my brother and I, he would work with it. So baseball was probably the biggest one that you get in a slump in,
Yeah.
especially hitting. And
Mentally, yeah.
he would just go out and he would throw hundreds of baseballs to me to just to have batting practice, and he he could diagnose what I was doing wrong.
Mhm.
He's like it's just this. You just gotta you're pulling your head out or you're moving you moving your foot too fast forward, and and we'd work on it. And so I never got with in high school as far as um my junior and senior. So it's funny that um how much a jump it is when you go from little league or senior league was the
Yeah, yeah,
before,
yeah.
before. So in senior league and freshman year of high school, and I went to the Tech. I mean, I made the varsity team as a freshman.
Oh, wow.
Not a huge thing because there's not a ton of players that go there
Yeah, yeah.
back then. Like they didn't recruit athletes to go to tech schools when I went there.
Right.
It was mostly druggies and burnouts that knew they couldn't go to the regular high school.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
there wasn't a ton of athletes. Now I go back, I have a guy I work with, and he has like 3 kids there. They're all like elite athletes, so they
Oh,
get a
wow.
different crop of players now.
Now, just to
But
be clear, this is
yep,
Neshoba Valley, right? Yeah,
Neshoba
okay.
Valley Technical High School.
Right, right,
Um,
right.
so my freshman year, I was in the town league. I was an all-star
Mhm.
and batted, I don't know, probably like 600 or higher than that.
Wow.
My freshman year, so same year, I'm
Yeah.
playing town league and I'm playing high school at the same time.
Okay.
I batted 0 for the whole season. That's
Oh
how
my
like how
god.
big a jump it
It's a
was.
huge
Like
jump. Yeah, yeah.
I'm like what 13 playing against 18-year-olds
Right, you
or
get grown men
15,
throwing
14. Yeah.
fastballs
So
at you. Yep.
it was a big difference. And
Whoa.
it was if it wasn't for me playing town league at the same time, I probably would have wanted to quit at that point. And
Wow.
actually the next year I went to the head coach of the baseball team of the varsity. I'm like, I think I need to play JV this year. Like it was,
Wow, really? It was that
yeah.
bad?
I went to him because I was like, I had no confidence,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and there was like a lot of the guys that were becoming seniors that year were just assholes to me. So I was like, they're they kept calling me Brownie because they thought I was, brown nosing the coach. That's how I got on the team. And
Uh,
so it was like, yeah, it was
oh,
a lot of hazing.
kids being stupid.
So I
Yeah.
was like, yeah, I think I would rather, I definitely would have had more fun because all my friends were on the JV team
Right, right,
that
right.
I was in the same classes with.
Yeah.
No, but he got me to stick it out, and I'm glad for that. I did
Oh, you
much
stayed on
better.
varsity?
I
Yeah.
did, and
Oh,
I
good.
did much better my sophomore year. Not hard to go better than 0.
Zero.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I did
If you're
much
hitting
better my
100, you're
summer.
like, all
Yeah,
right, well,
yeah,
1 out of 10. That's good.
yeah, yeah.
That's funny. It's funny that you say that because I was talking to a friend of mine. So, a bunch of people who coach basketball, but they all coach girls basketball. And they said that boys, when they go from eighth grade to freshman year, you don't see a lot of freshmen playing on varsity in any sport, but in basketball specifically, because you've got 18-year-old boys
Oh
who
yeah,
who are men, who are grown men. Whereas the girls, they mature faster. So you're a freshman and you're playing with people who have already matured, and so
yeah.
everybody's sort of at the same level. So it's really interesting. I didn't think about it that way, but
Oh
that's
yeah, that
amazing.
was
Good
huge jump.
good story about rubber shoes going over in
But
the
it's like
entire
if
varsity
I
season
if so I did bat 0, like I was in a whole season slump in that, but I didn't really lose my confidence too much because I was still doing well
in the field.
in. So I was like, okay, I know I can still do it, but I'm like, oh, maybe it's you know these guys are men.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's hard. That's hard. All right, we've waited long enough. Rubber shoes. The moment is here. We are going to do two Mount Rushmores.
Okay.
Do you want to go first or do you want me to go first?
Um, I'll g- I'll throw mine out there first.
All right. All
Okay, so
right.
I
All right.
know
Let me get ready for this.
it's
Hang on. Hang
like
on. Hang on.
so
All right. Go
I
ahead.
think I know you well enough. Like we've never really we've only met each other in person probably
A couple of times.
twice.
Yeah.
So yeah, I know Adam through Timmy and basically this podcast that we
Right.
started. You guys started Wicked Pissa Dude way back, and
Yep.
met you back then. So I think you're a hip hop connoisseur.
I'm okay. I'll take that label. I'll take
Yeah,
that label. Yeah.
okay. So I'm gonna say I want your Mount Rushmore of lyricists. So that's not the group. It's the actual, the guy spitting the rhymes.
Yep. Okay. Wow. Wow. Wow.
And like
Wow.
I
Wow. Wow.
go,
This
my
one hit
era,
me off the
yeah, my era starts, back when hip hop began.
right.
I started
Right.
with
Right.
in the early 80s.
All right. So I gotta give four. So I know two of them right off the bat. So I'll go with the first two, and this is in no particular order. So I don't want to
Yeah, it's just gonna be the four.
just the
Yep.
four. Yeah. Okay. So the first one to me is, and it's unquestionably Eminem.
Okay.
Um.
He is on my Mount Rushmore.
Okay. All right. All
Yep.
right. I like it. Excellent. The second one I would say is probably unquestionable to me too. Although I don't listen to him as much as I used to. I used to listen to him all the time. But I would say Jay-Z is number two
I had a
for me.
feeling you'd say him. See, I don't I just I appreciate him.
Yeah.
I love his beats, which I've come to find out later in life that a lot of it was Kanye
Yeah, a lot of
that
it is
did.
Kanye. Yep, his beats, yeah.
Um, but I like his flow is good. So I just I don't I don't love his style of
Okay.
rapping, so
Yeah.
that but I can appreciate that. I thought that he was gonna be one of yours.
Okay. Well, I listen. It, I have a lot of lyrics that I like of his, but my favorite
Yeah,
lyric of all time is "I'm not a businessman. I'm a business man." To me, like that's clever. That's creative.
yeah,
I don't know.
yeah.
So,
No, he
I'm
has
into
a
that.
lot of great I don't like how his flow is. That's like
Okay.
I love Eminem's flow.
Same. Same.
I think Eminem is if he's not number one, he's number two
Yeah. Agreed. I
all
mean,
time.
yeah, and people will argue Tupac and Biggie and all that, and no hate on those guys. I think they're amazing too. And one of them might end up on my list, but I'm reserving the right to add them or not add them. But Eminem to me is head and shoulders above most.
Yeah,
All right,
he's
so number
amazing. Yep.
three is actually probably out of left field, but it's Talib Kweli. I just love his style. I love his beats and I love his lyrics. You always like get hit with something unexpected that you didn't think could rhyme with the other thing or whatever. So I would go with him as number three. And number four is like really hard. Because there's like four guys I might put up there. I I know it kind of feels like a cop out, but I'm gonna say Tupac because uh it's the easy one, but at the same time, it's kind of unquestionable. The guy was a poet to me. So I love his lyrics. I just think some of his music is a little like off the charts for me. I might not listen to, but the stuff I listen to from him just like hits me every single time. So I would say him. So Jay Z, Tupac, Eminem, and Talib Kweli.
Okay.
How about you?
So my top two always is, and I I battle with myself who I would actually pick first. It's Eminem and Rakim,
Okay. All right.
and
See,
it like
Rakim was a little bit before my time,
yeah,
but
that's it. So
yeah.
and so I'm gonna have I'll have another one from the old school, which is it actually it's tough. I just thought of another one.
It's hard, man. They start
Um
popping in your head and you're like, "Oh man, what about this guy?"
I was gonna put Biggie on there, but I might have to drop him out now because
Uh-oh.
I just so
If
KRS
Biggie doesn't
One.
make one of our lists, we might get shot.
If we could add another one
He'd
up
be
there,
on
a
it.
bit that's Biggie. Biggie's
Yeah,
the
yeah.
fifth.
Biggie's the
Uh,
old man on the mountain. That doesn't exist anymore.
I I have to put these two on there just and it's
All right.
KRS One
Yeah.
and Big Daddy Kane.
Ooh, you're
It's
going
hard. Yeah,
all
that's
old school, all old
I
school.
thought I was gonna have Biggie on there as like a new school guy, but
Yeah, yeah.
those four in my heart are just phenomenal. I
Now,
mean, Rakim is his flow and his the lyrics he actually said is just is like him and Eminem are on the same level to me.
I should get more familiar with him honestly because I'm not. Um, I don't do well going back into people's catalog for some reason. I'm not. Um, I w- I would think that if people were 10 years younger than us, or 10 years younger than me, even, um, they would probably have Kendrick Lamar on there
Yeah,
in all likelihood. Because I like him a lot. I love a lot of his songs, but to me, he doesn't rise to the level. But I'm sure people who have grown up with him and that's the music they know. I bet they
yeah,
would. A lot
yeah.
of people would put him on their
I
list.
know. I don't know if Tyler would hit one of Tyler's favorite is Tyler the Creator.
Oh yeah. See, I do not get Tyler the Creator.
Yeah,
My daughters are actually into him.
yeah.
I don't get it. I don't get it. But that's
I
just the
think
old
it's
me.
hard. I think the good lyricists stick out nowadays because like so much in my opinion is so
It's
bad.
trash. Yeah.
So like when you have a guy like those guys, they definitely stand out. So maybe it's because everything else around them is so bad, we don't think they're as good as they really are.
Yeah, that's I mean, it's a good point. And honestly, like I don't listen to enough of it to know
Yeah,
to really be into it. Like for Jay-Z, right? Like I when I was in my 20s and my 30s, it was like him and Eminem. That's like almost all I
yeah,
listened to.
yeah.
And so now you know, obviously have more diversity in what I listen to, but that was like it for the 20 years of my life. So
And neither
uh,
of us picked Snoop Dogg.
I for shizzle. Um, I thought about Dre and Snoop, and to me, like those guys, they're the lyrics aren't amazing, right? The if
Yeah,
you're saying
like
lyricist,
Ice Cube had
yeah, Ice Cube was
great
strong.
lyrics.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah, yeah. But Dre and Snoop, I mean, that you want to start a party,
yeah.
that's the music you put
Like
on for sure.
I think Dre and Snoop's flow was really good, but yeah,
Yeah,
like you're saying, the lyrics not so much. I think Ice Cube's lyrics were really good, but his flow wasn't that good.
I would give an honorable mention to Common too. I love Common.
Yes,
I think his lyrics
I
are
wish he had
unbelievable too.
stuck with it
I know.
instead of
Now
going as an actor.
now he's an actor. It's always a shame when they go to acting. Maybe he'll come back. Who knows? All right, let me do my Mount Rushmore.
All right.
I'll give you first go at it since you gave me first go at yours. So I'm gonna go totally left turn, and I'm gonna do Mount Rushmore of Christmas movies.
Oh, okay. So number one is Christmas Vacation. That one
Okay, I
by
knew
far.
100% knew
Yeah,
that was gonna be on your
yeah.
list.
So we strictly movies, not like the cartoon.
I'll
Like,
give you the cartoon. Like if you were like you were saying, like if you were to do Rudolph or something, yeah, I'd
yeah,
give you
yeah.
that. I'd give you
Okay.
that. It's an hour long. It's more of a movie than a TV show.
I, all right. So if we're including that stuff, so I got to put Charlie Brown's Christmas
Okay.
up there.
Yeah. Yeah.
That one. Elf has grown on me. Elf
Mm,
is
Elf's
has
a good
over
one.
the years has like at first I was like and my wife hates it, so I don't get to watch it a lot.
Mm.
So,
Is
but
she not a big Will Ferrell fan?
I don't I no, I don't think so because I don't
He
think she
doesn't have the
likes.
same
I
appeal to
don't think.
women that he does to men, to
Yeah,
be honest.
she doesn't like Step Brothers. She doesn't like
Yeah, yeah,
Talladega
yeah.
Nights. She's all the oh crap. What's
Old
the one?
school and
Old School. Yeah,
Anchorman.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. She doesn't like any of those movies. So, but she loved them on Saturday Night Live. She
Oh,
just
that's funny.
doesn't like them as a in the movies. All right, so Elf, Charlie Brown, Vacation,
Vacation,
Christmas
Christmas Vacation.
Vacation, and got a Christmas Story. Have to
Oh, okay.
just because tradition. It's like that one is on every Christmas day, and I can sit and watch 24 hours of a Christmas Story if I had to. Like
Really?
I
Oh,
could,
wow.
and now they actually play it on two channels.
Do
So
they
they start,
really?
yeah. So I think
Oh my
it's
god.
TNT and TBS. So one starts at say 8 o'clock and the other
Yeah.
one starts at 9, so you can always catch.
Oh,
So
oh, that's cool.
if you're doing stuff during the day and you like catch part of it and then you flip it back on and you're like and then you go to the other one like okay that's where I was and
Right, right, right.
throughout the 24 hours you probably catch the whole episode once.
Oh, that's kinda cool, though. I actually like that. I didn't know why they would do that, but that makes sense.
Yeah,
Especially people are, like, running around at Christmas and stuff, and then they wanna sit down and
yeah,
watch it, and
yeah,
they can catch it whenever
yeah.
it is.
I don't think like I don't sit so Thanksgiving is my tradition. I always watch plane, trains, and automobiles. Like
Oh,
that's my
okay.
tradition. I watch that on Thanksgiving Day every year. And it
Yeah.
was tough this year because I was at the fire station, but I did manage to get it in. Um, but that's my go-to. Well, I mean, there's not many Thanksgiving movies, but that's
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
my thing I do every Thanksgiving. But Christmas Day, it's I get up, I put on a Christmas Story. It's on until basketball starts. Then I start
Oh,
watching
wow.
basketball, and then during commercials, flip back and forth because I
Yeah,
hate
yeah.
commercials. But yeah, so I'd have to say, I mean, those.
You hate commercials, but you won't buy Netflix. What's going on with that?
Oh,
You could
I
just
did get it. I got
Oh,
it
you
for
did?
so yeah. I got it for the fraud fight, Tyson and Paul. But
The
it
fraud
was like
fight.
I swore I'd never get another Jake Paul pay-per-view, but it
Yeah.
wasn't a pay-per-view. I was gonna get it anyway because
Yeah.
NFL is on
Oh, right.
Netflix on
On
Christmas
Christmas.
Day.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
want and come
I know you were just
January,
buying it for the Beyonce
yeah,
concert, but I get it. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Wrestling Monday Night Raw starts on
Oh,
Netflix
right, right, right.
in January. So
Okay,
we
so you're
watched I watched the comeback. Have you watched that yet?
Oh,
The
yes.
Red
Yes, I
Sox?
have watched that. That's
Wow, that
amazing.
was
It's so
so
fun to
good.
watch.
So good.
And the only small, very small nitpick that I have is like, and I feel like it was hard on Nomar, but it would have been great if they had been able to convince him to tell his side of it because, and
Yeah.
I know he kind of got dumped on, but I don't know. It would have been
So
cool to
I
hear from
didn't
him.
Steph and I don't know if you remembered. I don't remember the rumors that he was like I remember A-Rod was coming here,
Yeah.
but I don't remember hearing him and Manny were going to be traded. Like I don't
No,
remember hearing
no, I
any of
don't
that.
remember. To me, Nomar getting traded was way out of the blue. To me,
Yeah, I was like,
I did not
really?
expect it when it
And
happened.
actually, the players they were gonna get, they were gonna have a pretty stacked team,
Right.
getting Maglia Ordonez from the White Sox, and I forget who they were getting for Manny, but I was like, holy crap! I was like, they would have been unbelievable.
I will
Yeah, I
say,
think it kind of it. I really like Nomar. It's too bad it went down that way
yeah, same.
because he was he was Boston when he was here, and I think he felt it too, and that they turned and the fans didn't turn their back on him. It was
No,
the
no,
the
no.
team that did.
It's funny because if it had worked out a different way and they had not won that year, I mean, they would have put Theo Epstein's head
Oh
on a
yeah,
stake in Boston. I mean, honestly, like
yep. Oh
that
yeah,
was some gamble that he
that
took.
and
Uh,
he and Theo is from this area, so he
right,
knew
I
how
know.
big a risk it was.
Right. I mean, you gotta give the guy credit. He's what, 27 when he made that
Yep.
deal. So that's crazy. All right. Um, let me get. I'll run through mine quickly.
Okay.
So, I'm Home Alone. That's one.
Oh,
Mm, and see,
yeah.
sometimes they come up and you forget about them. I'm gonna save my controversial one till the end. Um, number two is the Polar Express. I love the Polar Express.
I've never seen that, so
Oh,
uh,
you got Netflix now. You should definitely watch it. It's
yeah.
worth a watch. Actually, it might not be on Netflix. It might be on HBO or something. I can't remember. Whatever. You can find it somewhere. Um, so I do have to do Rudolph. I have to. Like to me, it's a tradition. It's a
Yeah.
classic. It's just like Charlie Brown. I love Charlie Brown too, but to me, Rudolph is a classic. And I will do my controversial one, which is a controversy in my house every year, and I'm the only one that watches it. And of course, I'm talking about Die Hard. Die Hard is a Christmas movie. I don't care what anybody else says. It takes place at Christmas. It's around a Christmas party. And yes, there are terrorists in it, but it's got Christmas music in it. I don't know how it's not a Christmas movie. So Die Hard is my fourth one on my Mount Rushmore of
So
Christmas
there's a movie that it came out. It's a horror movie that came out this past October. I haven't seen it yet. I'm a pretty big
movies. Okay.
horror movie fan, and this one it's it takes place during Christmas. So
During Christmas. Okay.
yeah, it's and so this is the third one of the franchise so
Oh,
far, and
jeez.
like the first two were like they're if you don't like blood and guts, you do not watch these
Don't go see
movies.
this movie.
They're like real bad, but not like. Have you ever seen Shaun of the Dead?
No.
So it's like a parody of zombie movies, right? And
Okay.
in like the the blood, there's ridiculous amounts of blood, but it's like funny how bad
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
do,
Yeah.
how they make it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But this one is lots of blood, and they do a real good job. It looks real, really real, and yeah. So I got I'm just trying to get time with Tyler because Tyler wants to see it too. But
Is it
that
still
could
in the theaters, even though it came out in October?
no, it's on
It's on demand now.
streaming now. Yeah,
Yeah.
so I should be. I'm just trying to get a night that him and I are both around that we
Here's
can
a
watch it.
here's a real question. Are you seeing The Rock's Christmas movie that just came out? which
Uh,
I've read one
actually,
or
you know
something.
what? It looks pretty good. I'll
Okay.
I won't go to the movies till I
Yeah, yeah,
actually I
yeah.
don't even remember the last time I went to the movies. But yeah, I'll watch that at some
Okay.
point when it's on whatever HBO or whatever it's on. I'm
Yeah,
sure
yeah.
I'll catch it, and it looks interesting.
I mean,
So
to
I'll
me,
give it.
The Rock is like you'll throw it on. I wouldn't pay for a
Yeah,
Rock movie, but
no,
I'll throw it on if it's on TV or like you said, it's on demand, and I'm like, oh, okay, I need something to watch. I'll watch
and
this.
so
Although
um
Jumanji was pretty good, I have to say. Jumanji was good.
the Home Alone.
Yeah.
I was just reminded of it. So we've been starting to watch the Vince McMahon, Mr. McMahon
Oh,
series,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and so there was one. The last episode we saw was like when it was right around when the Gulf War started,
Mhm.
and I'm like, oh, I remember we went to a movie and like I my details were a little foggy. I knew we went to a movie and we found out that we were at war. And
Yeah.
she's I'm like, do you know what movie it was? She's like, yep, I do. And it was Home Alone.
Get out of
We
here,
yep,
really?
yep.
Oh, that's hysterical. Um, were you active duty at the time?
No, that's before.
Oh,
So that was in 90, I believe that. So yeah, it
yes.
was in
Yeah.
90.
Yeah.
So Steph and I had just started dating again. I went in 92 and
Oh, okay.
yeah.
All right. All right. Well, this was fun. This was. I know it was a departure from our normal conversation. We did a little Patriots, a little Bruins, a little Celtics, even a little Red Sox, even 2004 Red Sox,
Yeah.
but still, we did a little Red Sox. Um, we will be back next week. I believe Timmy will be back in the building. Actually, I'm not sure if I will be here or
I
not.
think it's Wednesday because I think I'm at the fire station next Wednesday.
Okay.
So I think that's when he was saying. And then the week after, maybe we can work on a time. Like,
Yeah, that'd be fun if we
does
could
it
all get
have to
together.
be? Because it's gonna be Festivus. Where
Oh, what day of the week is that? What day? I
it's
always forget.
Monday the 23rd.
Okay. I'll see if I can make it work. Well, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. Um, we're
Like
creeping up on our 200th.
how early do you have can you make it on?
Okay, so I haven't talked about it on the show, but I started a new job, so this is why like it's a weird the timing of it, and I can't make it to some shows and stuff. And the reason I bring that up is because I don't know what my holiday schedule is. I still don't
Oh,
know what it is. So
okay.
there is a possibility that I don't have to work that day. And if I don't have to
Oh,
work that day, I'll definitely be on. If I have to work that day, then maybe I show up a little bit late or something. I'm not sure.
yeah.
We can figure that part out. But I would like to definitely be on for Festivus so I can air my grievances, especially against
Yes.
Timmy. I have a lot of grievances against Timmy. Um, w- uh, what was I going to say? I was going to say something else about the holidays. Oh no, I know what I was going to say. Um, we're creeping up on our 200th episode. We are really this is episode 190, so we're 9 weeks away from our 200th episode, which will hit roughly late January, early February. So hopefully we have nothing planned for it, but we should think about what we're going to plan for it and see if we can do
Yeah.
something a little bit extra special for it. But we will get to that. And hopefully you have subscribed, you have liked, you have shared so that more people have found out about us over the years. Almost 200 episodes. I mean, we should try and match that with our subscriber count would be great. Right now,
Yeah.
we're middling around 105. So we would like you to tell your friends. Rubber Shoes, thanks for joining me tonight. Rubber Shoes is like the most reliable person too. Like if we're like, yeah, we're going to do it at Tuesday at 2 in the afternoon. He's like, yeah, I can sneak out for an hour and he'll do it. So,
It's funny. So originally, I was supposed to go to Short People Wrestling tonight,
oh,
but the guy I was going with waited too long to get tickets and it got sold out. So
short people wrestling sold out.
yeah.
Oh my God.
Um,
That's a
and then
Lowell thing, right? Is
tonight
that a
is the
Lowell thing?
no, this was actually at the Chelmsford Elks.
Uh, it's a Chelmsford thing?
Yep.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I have to unpack this. I was about to wrap up the show, but I have to unpack this. You're going to a wrestling match
No,
at an
I
Elks
was.
Lodge? I know.
Yeah, yeah.
That was the plan. And there was
Yep,
a wrestling match at an
yep.
Elks Lodge?
And it sold out. Yep.
How many people can they even fit in an Elks Lodge with a wrestling ring?
It's Probably a couple hundred, I'd say.
Oh, this is wild.
Yeah.
That's wild to me. Okay. Well, I'm
So
disappointed you didn't get to
because
go.
that got canceled, this was the only night I
This
was
was
available
we were
this
able to
week.
do this week.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm at the fire station tomorrow, which I can jump on if there's two other capable people to
Right.
go, because Tim and I tried to do the him and I from the fire station,
Tim
and
and Rubber Shoes recorded our shortest episode of
yeah.
all time, which was about 25 minutes long.
Yeah.
Because Rubber Shoes had to go, and Tim was like, "Well, I'm not going to just talk to myself."
Yeah, yeah.
How long were you gone,
Although
by the
he
way?
I did not get back until probably like a half hour later.
Oh, okay. All right. So he would
Yeah.
have been. But if
Yeah.
anybody could do it, Tim could talk himself
Yes,
through
he could.
a half
Yep.
an hour of you being gone. But nonetheless, it didn't happen. It's our shortest episode of all time. I think it was in the 160s. So if you want to go check it out, go back on our YouTube channel. It's there, or on your podcast feed. Thanks to our friends at AAA Work Trucks, who are taking a much needed break from their enjoyment of the Celtics. There it is, right there. Hope you enjoyed the show, and we will be back next week with Rubber Shoes, Timmy, and at least one other person, I hope. So for Rubber Shoes,